back. We are super excited today, Daniel and I from California Comics, to have some conversation with one of our good friends, Charlie Fisher, one of the best mint hunters out there. Super nice guy. So excited to chat with him. And we're going to bring him on, talk about his journey, talk about, some mint hunting, some mistakes that we've made, and just have a collector conversation. So welcome back to Comics and Collectibles Convo. Today we are talking Grails because that is all Charlie has pretty much. It's just Grails.
He's he might, for me, he's the OG of Grails. He's the reason I got into special mint collecting, for good or bad. So yeah, I'm going to say he's my favorite special mint collector. Let's go out there and say that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know what? And we're going to talk about it because we all have had some shared mints. So let's bring Charlie on. Charlie,
Hey, Dr. Fidgetal and Daniel, how you doing?
we are
California
good.
Comics?
Yeah, not
How
too
are
bad,
you?
Charlie.
I'm doing great, doing great. Yeah, it's nice to be on your podcast. I appreciate the invitation.
Man, we are so honored to have you on. I mean, Daniel made the suggestion like we should get Charlie on. I'm like, man, that would be awesome to have Charlie on because it's just like having three friends on the call. Just talking, collecting, and having some fun. So it was a
Yeah.
great idea.
What
That's what
better
it's all
time?
about.
Yeah. Is this your? When was the last time you did an interview, Charlie? Because I know you did the VeVe Vantage. Have you had a bit of a hiatus on doing interviews? Is this your first one in a while?
It's the first one for a while, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, we
Cool.
are honored to have you on and talk about your journey. So, we'll get started. So let's start with the biggest questions. Take us back. How did you get into collecting, first of all?
Well, the at the beginning, when I was a young boy, I was a Spider-Man fan. I just loved Spider-Man. I mean, after watching a Spider-Man show, I'd be jumping, pretending I was Spider-Man. So of course, that was my kind of start of collecting, or just loving Spider-Man. And so the journey started there. And of course, along the way, you collect marbles. We used to collect marbles for, when they're in school, and you would try to hit someone else's marble and you'd win a marble. So it kind of started slow like that, and it just kept getting larger and bigger, and eventually led to VeVe, where I was introduced to it by one of my friends who showed me the digital um, collectibles, and it's like, man, this looks fun. This looks great. And so I got involved, and the journey began there. So a gentleman by the name of Jeremy got me involved, and I went gung ho for about 2 months, and then I saw it was taking too much of my time, so I took about a year off, and I came back and just never looked back about after that. So it's been great.
So do you still collect, like physically collect, or is it all digital now?
Well, mostly all digital. I still collect things, but mostly it's mostly digital.
Okay.
Digital. I've got the coin. I was honored to be given the 77 silver coin. Um, of course, I've got my, you know, I was honored to receive this in New York. David presented me with the number 77 VeVe logo. Um, Even though I'm only level 96 at the moment, he presented that to me uh, because of my collection of Star Wars and the 77s in particularly. Um, so that was an honor to receive that from David Yu, and the VeVe team. So honored to receive that in New York, and just all the people that have been part of my journey. Right, I'm not. I've learned a lot since I've been on VeVe. There's so much to learn, and so many wonderful VeVe fam. Right, so it's been a great experience for me.
Yeah, I
That's
think
awesome.
it's funny as well. I'm not I didn't think I was a conspiracy theorist, but we all get introduced by a friend, and it's usually a man. Like I'm thinking some sort of Squid Games. They've tasked an agent to come out there, and VeVe have pulled us in, and we're playing some sort of sick digital Squid Game. It's fun, but yeah.
Yeah. So Charlie, when you first came in, when did you come in 2021 or?
Yes, I came in October 2021 and mainly focused on my first um, mint that I collected was the secret rare Daredevil #1. Uh, it was on sale for $2,300. And
Good
so
old
I
days.
still have that mint today. I'd actually gave it away to a friend. I ended up giving all my stuff away when you could do that to
Okay.
some friends, and I kind of stepped aside until I came back. Uh, and I ended up buying it back for $300.
Wow.
The same
So
mint number.
same mint. So I've got the very first mint I ever purchased on VeVe, which is, it's not for sale. It's just one of those things that's special because it's my very first mint. And so I've kept that all these, last several years. But I
Nice.
mainly collected when I first got on. I mainly collected secret rare comics. I was mostly into comics. I hadn't really started collecting collectibles. My comic collection was about 1,000 more than when I started collecting collectibles. I had about 1,000 more comics than I had collectibles, and now I have probably 1,000 more collectibles than I have comics.
Right, okay.
What made you shift?
There's a few things that made me shift. Of course, I still have my 252 collection that I love. The 252 edition of the comic 252, the first black suit Spider-Man, and so that was one of the things I first got, and I still have. I own like 14, 15 of those to this day. So I have still but the 252, I probably have 30 something total in 252. And then I started going to the collectibles, the 252 Venom there and the 252 Carnage. And, so I started collecting 252. So I love collecting sets. And so the collectibles I like because when you show them in, AR, they just have more of a pop, right? So I like that aspect of collectibles. But I still love comics as well. But collectibles, a lot of the Star Wars were in collectibles, and as we'll probably discuss later, the first mints and sub 100s are in collectibles. So that was part of the reason for the switch. What was being offered in collectibles.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
very
what
cool.
initially made you go into, so did you start off special mint hunting or when did you make that transition?
Well, we live and learn, right? Through everything. You start the process, and I know a lot of people, they don't like flippers because of they're not collectors and they just like to flip and make a buck. But I've learned a lot from flippers. And so part of it was my learning curve to where eventually, rather than just buying secret rares or common Marvel comics or, just mainly secret rares, I ended up with a large collection of secret rares. I ended up realizing that I had to be strategic. And the strategy really came after I had a family emergency and I listed the Amazing Fantasy, the famous Amazing Fantasy 15, is it?
Yeah, I have 15.
And instead of me listing it for 10,000, I left a zero out and I listed it for 1,000, and it got sniped by someone. And I thought after that, it's like, oh man, I paid 6,000 for this and I just got 1,000. and I was listing it for 10,000 at the time. They was going for around 10,000. And during this call of family emergency, I forgot to put another zero and hit post, and it got sniped right away. I mean, how many of us would like to have an AF-15 for 1,000, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Squibbs would be buying them all day. You know, he'd love to be able to. He'd buy another 20. Yeah, I think the guy's got like 40 of them now. But again, that was disappointing. So I had to focus on, okay, I need to have a strategy. What's my strategy? So I started focusing on last mints, first mints, uh, first appearances, and really rare 1922s, 1939s. 1922, of course, Stan Lee. 1939 was when Marvel started, as you all know. And so I started to focus on specialty mints. So a large part of my portfolio is special mint collecting. And so when everyone else is getting their level 100, I'm buying a something for $1,000, $2,000 at the floor is like under $10. So, it didn't help me in my going to 100 level, but it did help me collect, a very special collection of editions in Marvel and other avenues.
Yeah, well, and you've got, obviously we might come to it. Charlie and I have done so many trades over the past 12 months. It is biblical, and there's the amount of times I go on Stackar and have a look at Charlie's collection. You just find these gems upon gems upon gems. It's like it is. No pun intended. It is something to marvel at. It is rather incredible.
Absolutely. And Charlie,
Thank you.
you're also so generous, because you do not mind sharing your grails, especially if it helps someone complete a set. And we appreciate you because both of you gentlemen have helped me along the way to, obtain my trifecta for the Avengers, the first mint, the last mint, and then the 1922 mint for the SR for Avengers 1 for the comic. So, it's thanks to both of you. So, that I have that, and that is by far my most special comic mints as far as my collection there. I would still like to get the 1939, but I talked to the person that has that. They're not willing to give that up. And the person with the 1963 is not on right now, but I'm going to eventually try to get them. But, it's like you said, it's all about building a story, right? And you want those special mints and for them to mean something to you and to be able to pass that on, because for me, those are those grails that I'll never sell unless I necessarily have to, and if I do, they're going to people like you guys that I know that if it goes into your vaults, it's going to be appreciated, right? It's not a flipping game for us because we really love collecting those special mints.
Totally. There have been a few mints that I have let go. The reason why I've sold what I have is someone's finishing a set like yourself, or if they're not compassionate about it, if it's not to finish the set, like with Dr. Rolex, he needed Luke 77. He won the 77 secret rare, which I could never get my hands on. And I had the other two. And when I saw that, I thought sets are meant to be together. And so sometimes not all collectors will get rid of sets. They just, once they have something, they're not selling it. If it's to complete a set, treat others the way you want to be treated. I've had people sell me a addition to complete a set. And so I've been treated really well that way, where people see, hey, I only need one more 66 or one more 77 for a set, or I need this comic or that collectible. And people have done that for me time and time again. So it's nice to pass it on, pass it forward. And so when I've done that, what I found is people then it comes back to you. And so even though it's not been easy, it's been a joy to see people finish their sets, like Dr. Rolex. He's got now the Luke 77 complete set, and I was honored be able to help him. He is someone like that who is one of the largest mint collectors, and they're passionate, and they're always supporting. You just want to help them. I don't sell to flippers very much, but being good to flippers, guess what? Guess who they call first if you're good to them? They call you. So treating people with respect and honor, whether they're a flipper, a collector. Collectors are harder to get things from than flippers are.
That's
But
very true.
100%.
when you treat collectors well, if they have something they're holding on to and they know it's only one you're missing for a set, then it's great to have a relationship built with among the community, the VeVe fam, where people can say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll sell that to you. And both of you are in that category, and I've been honored to be able to share some of my prized collection with you, which sometimes I cry a little bit after it's gone, but I usually get over it after a couple of days, few days.
Yeah, it is. It's a very unique concept in the fact that, collecting can be very singular and very selfish in a lot of ways, but at the same
Right.
time, and I think it's probably because of the ease of the digital and being able to trade and buy and sell, it becomes a bit of a team sport, which is really, really peculiar. And like you've said, Charlie, there's people I've approached who have got a great reputation in the space, big collectors, and I've gone to them and tried to negotiate, and they've been very open and said, look, I would like to sort of trade or sell you that piece, but I've got it reserved for one of my pals. That's sort of, as much as it's there's that bit of feeling, you just at the same time have complete respect for that person. It's like, I'll do exactly the same thing if it was in my closer circle and I had something that I knew like you guys wanted. So it's very, very unique.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Now, Charlie, I have a question for you. So, obviously you have spent quite a bit of money on VeVe. You have these special mints in this collection that is just legendary. What gave you the conviction to say, you know what, I'm going all in on this, and this is what I want to do moving forward and to build this epic collection? Is it, are you looking for, more of a story to be told? You're just collecting things that you love, or flex pieces? What is it for you?
Well, the human side of us, of course, it's nice to be able to have a nice flex piece and be able to say, hey, I got this set, or I've got, it's like, you like to be able to do that. It's always fun to be able to flex a little bit here and there. But there are humble people who are amazing collectors that we don't even know. They're in the background. You never hear from them. They never say anything. And I have a lot of honor and respect. Part of my promoting is being able to share my collection, be able to encourage other people. And so the real aspect here is I believe I'm a steward or curator of Grail level digital artifacts. I don't see them as NFTs per se or an investment. I see them as digital artifacts, very rare museum grade holdings that one day you've got something that's the first one. We've got VeVe has all these licenses with Disney and Marvel and multiple other 250 plus licenses. And some of these are the most, like a Star Wars, how many 40 something billion dollars they've done. So collecting strategically, looking at these as museum grade holdings, Grail level digital artifacts, and not just something to flip, or say, oh, my collector. So if you're passionate about collecting something that's unique, that's an artifact, you look at it differently than just someone that's all my 1922, Stan Lee went down, or it's the secret rare has gone up, or this has gone down. You don't focus so much on the money as on what you're collecting in history. You've got a historical piece. And so we have collected multiple premium mints that are historical mints that are the first of the kind. So it's a first appearance of that particular mint, that edition. Whether it's a 1977 when Star Wars first opened up and I got to watch it. I was in high school. I got first 1977 Star Wars film. It was incredible. So whatever it is, that is the real. Collect what you love, but realize what you have isn't about so much an investment as it is something that is unique. It's culturally, um, you're stewarding something that's cultural, relevant, and historical. And so I look at them as digital artifacts, not just NFTs that can come and go.
Yeah, and I think you've absolutely nailed it. And I've again, that terminology, museum piece, I think is a big thing. You know, granted the space is still early. You know, there's a chance. You know, there's always a chance that it could end up going nowhere at some point. But if it does kick on like we all expect, you know, you take the Luke Skywalker lightsaber. I use that reference a lot. You know, Sean and Comics and Crypto. I've got the 1977 of that. That is, as much as edition number one's great, you know, 1971, 1976, that 1977 is museum standard. Like that, and there's so many pieces out there, like Partners statue 1923, which I want to say Rudy's got, you know, your Avengers 1 Secret Rare 1922, like the way the artwork's done, it almost calls for Stanley. Like that's museum standard.
Correct. Yeah. And you've kind of shown, California Comics, you've come on stage, you're passionate, you've been going after mints, and and I've been honored to be able to help you in your passion doing the comic store, California Comic Store, the first one of its kind, is because of your passion. If you were just flipping them, it would be a different story. But I know now that they're going to be reserved and it's going in good hands. So, and same with Dr. Fidgetal, you're buying quality stuff. You're not just flipping, getting anything. You're going after the premium mints. And so we have our premium mint collectors, whether it's Dr. Fuse that has like 50 something thousand mints, Dr. Rolex, Clever Jerk, Name Coast. I mean, there's a multiple ones who Robert, Husk Show, that are, there's so many amazing collectors that we have in this thing. I mean, some of their collections will never be surpassed. We talked about Mr. Squibbs and his secret rares, AF51s, and then I encouraged him to start collecting. I said, I saw you being a leader in the partner statue. Next thing you know, he's like top 3, in the partner statue.
Yeah.
So he's got like 25 of them. When I had 14 and I started, I saw him as, taking it on. I said, you're going to be a leader in this area. So he took advantage of that and the pricing and all that and went for it. So there are multiple, and the list goes on of just real quality, of course, Dr. Collect, who is formerly Dr. Profit, you could still be second place in a category and you're still 50 or 100 behind what he carries, right? So unbelievable collection, right? There's only one Dr. Profit, the CEO of Stacker. There'll never be another one. I mean, he's got just an amazing collection. So we've had a lot of good examples, people who we've learned from and have inspired us along the way, and that's part of the journey.
Yeah, and the great thing is, as we know, there's so much depth to special mint collecting. Is, you've got the singular pieces, you can curate sets, collections, and then you've got, even someone like Slider. I think NC put a post out earlier about show us your palindromes, and I challenged, Slider, who's missed the palindrome, and Chris Severs, who's got a great collection. They just went nuts. Like Slider put so many out there, but shows you that is passion, and there will be, in time, there'll be more people that come in, enjoy palindromes, and they'll be looking to someone like Slider, who's the king of that.
Absolutely. And you know one thing, and shout out to everyone that's here, and please drop a like, subscribe to everyone's page, and also comment on your favorite mint. But one of the things, that really drew me into this community. So originally, I didn't get a, VV gold and silver logo, right? I had to purchase mine in the aftermarket. But, for me, VV brought me in, and the special mint collecting is great. But man, the family that you make while you're here, like meeting you guys, getting to know you, I mean, Charlie, we sat at the bar when we were in Vegas and just really got to know each other, right? And
Right.
you stop becoming just collectors and you become family and you become friends and you can share in experiences outside of VeVe. And I think that that's one thing that some of the other communities, unfortunately, um, I just think that VeVe does a really great job of taking everyone and just bringing us together from all parts of the world, and it was just like, if you haven't been to a VeVe meetup, I encourage you to go. I will be at those again. I'll be at New York Comic Con. I'll be at DCon. But to actually like see these people in person and put that face with the name and get to know their story outside of VeVe, there's nothing like it. And it just becomes more special that when you're able to share those mints, as you talked about, Charlie, right, and help someone, it's like you're not just helping a fellow collector, you're helping someone that's part of your family. And that's what I really love about, this space and being able to connect with just people from all over. It's just there's no other like place that you can do that and just be so welcome no matter where you go.
That's so true. 100%.
Now, Charlie, so speaking of Las Vegas, because we got to meet in Las Vegas and you got called up by, shout out to the Mint Hunters and Rudy and Tina and everyone that was there. And you were presented a gift because you are such an awesome person. So kind of tell us about, like, I know it was a shock for you. What was that feeling like and what were your thoughts?
Well, that was a highlight. One of my highlights of being in VeVe was I'm listening and they're talking about presenting this award to this special mint collector, and I'm thinking, man, I got to get my phone out and make sure I video this. Whoever this person is, this is pretty amazing. And I was all excited about seeing who this person was, and someone looked at me and says, "It's going to be you," and I go, "No, no, no, no." So I had my video out. Then they started when they mentioned the 252 collection. I go, oh my goodness, it's probably gonna be me. I don't know anyone else that's more crazy fanatical about 252s. And I thought, oh my goodness, they're talking about me. So I handed my phone to someone else to videotape it. And when they presented me with the Mint Hunters, some of the most extraordinary people on the planet, like I said, they're precious people, and they called my name and presented me with a 252 rated 9.8 252 comic that's signed by the artist and David Yu. I was just totally blown away and honored to be part of this group and be recognized. And so it was truly an honor and a joy to just come and celebrate other people. But when people recognize your passion and your commitment to collecting these digital artifacts with passion and yes, it's an expensive hobby. Yes, several $100,000 have been spent. Uh, but you don't focus on so much what you've spent, but I've already feel like I've been rewarded just in the community. So yeah, thank you very much. That was a special time.
Well, it was an honor to be there. I know, Callie wanted to be there, and next time we're all going to get together and have a good time. But just kind of talking through that experience and what you continue to do in the space. So you said that 252, is that like, if you had to pick a mint number that is your favorite that you go after, is that it, or is there a different one?
Well, it's one of many, right? Like the crazy thing is I'm trying to let go of the because I used to collect everything, right? I'm trying to more focus on people like Dr. Or Draco have encouraged me to just focus, be more streamlined in my focus. And so I've tried to do that. And the 252, only 1,000 comics were ever made. It's the first black suit. And when I had the opportunity to purchase the 252 edition 252, it was a no-brainer. I grabbed it. And so I love it, and I collect other 252s, as you saw, the Venom 252, Carnage 252, and multiple other comics and collectibles in 252. So it's just been one of many amazing collector pieces and additions 250, the other editions and stuff. But 252 is a special edition. I bought the secret rare 252, and the person begged me to sell it back to them. So at some point, I'm still wanting on my bucket list is to get another secret rare 252, and eventually it'll show up. It'll happen. But at the moment, I'm still looking for that one. So that would be one. But when I see 252, like the recent 252 Venom that showed up, I'd love to see that surface. And if you happen to get it, look me up. I would love to have that to go alongside my Amazing Spider-Man 252 common. So again, I've done a lot of polling for that one, but it hasn't showed up yet. But eventually someone's going to get it, and hopefully they'll call me and get
if
it.
it lands on that uncommon cover as well, which I want to say the uncommon is
Right. Yes.
isn't it? Yeah, if it lands on that. But look, I know I won't advertise it, but I know what mints Charlie's favorite are, because when I approach Charlie and talk about them, he says our friendship's on the line if I carry on that conversation. So I know which ones he likes most. But yeah, it's incredible collection 252.
So, Charlie, we got a question here. It says, how do you feel about month-year mints like Disney 1023, founded in October 1923? And that's from at HWHRTT.
Right. Well, no, that's a good question. And, I like collecting month and year. 1023, I don't know how many dozen I have of those, but I try to combine them with 1923. So right now I've been able to collect 1923 is one of my favorite Disney mints. It was the year that Disney was started, October 1923. So I like to get the set 1023 plus 1923, and I have 27 to date. I have 27 1923 Disney editions. So I have a much more 1923 in other things, but mainly Disney. I've been able to collect 27. So that's where my strategy of collecting something that's not just random focus, but it's a strategic plan to collect these curate long-term digital artifacts, to steward them. And that's 1923. I gave one away as a birthday present, but I don't sell many 1923s due to the fact that if you got a 1923 from me, you're very special, because I don't get rid of those. There's a few things I don't sell very often, and Daniel's shaking his hand. He got one for his daughter, but it's not something I sell. I collect them, and so I recently had a poster of that I'm seeing there on the screen of 4 Golden Moment 1923 Star Wars, and so again, they're a special mint to me. Rudy and Tina celebrated having the partner statue 1923, so they go after it too, right? Like they're top level mint collectors, and so we need people like that cheer us on, always passionate about it. So again, it's special to have people in the community that go after him as well. It just helps encourage us all.
Yeah, and not obviously it's not about this, but just quickly putting my grading hat on. That question about is a 1023 important? If it's a Disney piece and it's 1923, well, if I got my grading hat on, that's your 10.0. 1023 scores incredibly high. Like you said, it's a very important min, and it's same with Star Wars. A 1977 Star Wars like this is just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and I don't even know how many I own. I'd have to look it up. I don't know if I own 20, 30, how many 1023s I have, but I have collected a number of them. It's one of those, I just along the way I see it. Oh, there it is. I'll buy it. So I've collected them along the way, and then next thing you know, you've got dozens of them, and you go, how did I end up with dozens of these? I didn't know I was collecting that many, and so it's the same with number 123. I'm Charlie NFT 123. Well, I just had to come up with a name when I started VeVe. I didn't even think a 123 would be something I would collect, right? And with the help of California Comics and others, next thing you know, I've got like 170 something 123s, right? So so now it's like, okay, well, here, I'm legit now. 123 is a real thing, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
probably one of
and
my favorite 123. Of course, I have the 350 GT 123s, Pink Panther 123. I have multiple 123 collections, full sets. But the 252 ultra rare 123 is one of my favorites, and they're the last mints, Lamborghinis that are on the screen right now. That was one of the highs when you I just went to look. I just went to look at the 350 GT collection. I didn't plan on buying anything. I didn't plan on doing any polls. And the next thing you know, I see a last mint, and I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. Well, then another one shows up. The next thing you know, I buy all the last mint 350 GTs, which is one of my favorite last mint. Next thing you know, I own the 123s. I own, just a multiple number of 350 GTs now, and they're a special. There's only 120 350 GTs ever made, and I own the 120 mint. Again, that is a digital artifact that's historical, and so I'm stewarding that, right? So unless someone comes along who's more passionate and shares that their grandfather owned a 350 GT, he loves them, and this is part of their legacy, and it's like, yeah, great, I'll look at something like that. But otherwise, it's pretty hard to move off of something special like the all last mint 350 GTs of each of those uh, rarities.
Well, and again, I know we're not talking here. You're not talking here about selling them, like you said. You're a custodian of that for the long term. But I think I said it before. If this space goes away, it will go at some point. Special mint collecting will be that much harder. Like right now, it's still challenging, but we've got it easy. Trying to do that, collect all four last mint on a whole set, will be nigh on impossible. But someone will be able to walk in this space in the future and approach Charlie, especially when transfers are open, and be able to acquire that one. Like that is pretty magnificent. And one thing
Yeah,
earlier, I think you mentioned, Charlie, is about there's um there's people in this space that are much quieter. They might not necessarily shout about what they do. And I've recently connected with two guys, Copper Comic and Prince Grayskull, who you might know. And I've started having a look on their stacker, and you just find like gems, like very smart individuals when it comes to special mint collecting, because they've picked up some really nice things, but they're just not shouted about it. And I think
right,
there's a lot
right,
of people that are like that as well.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, Charlie, I do have to ask you. So, has there ever been a mint that you missed, like you saw on the market, you thought about it and thought about it too long, and someone sniped it from you?
Well, that's happened. That's happened a few times. Um,
Okay.
One of them was the ultra rare boba. I had bought the uncommon 1977, and I, thought, oh, it's going to be there in the morning. No problem. Get up in the morning, go to buy it. Someone had purchased it within the hour. And so things like that, it's like, oh my goodness. But I've heard more often where I'll buy something like the Disney First Mint collection of the pencils and the desk, where I collected every one of the pencils that are available First Mints and the desk number 41. And when I saw it listed, I didn't bother calling, seeing if I could get it for $50, $100 cheaper. I just bought it. And when I saw the Disney desk with the glass full of the pencils on it, I thought, are you kidding me? So that was one of those moments like, oh my goodness, I've got all the First Mint pencils and the desk. And it was a special moment for me. Whether it's the Lamborghini 350 Last Mints or the First Mint pencils. And when I saw the desk, and I didn't even realize the desk was going to have the glass with all the pencils in it. The only one that's missing of my 41 First Mint collection is Frozen 41. And so that again is a one of those special moments that take place that you can't put a price on that. It's just like, oh my goodness, what? And it's almost like it's meant to be. If you believe in divine providence, it's like some of these things, like people say, how come you have so many 1977 Star Wars, right? Well, it's just something I got started with. First one I bought, one of the first ones was Yoda comic, 1977. And next thing you know, I own, I've been able to sell a few to friends that wanted to finish a set or something passionate, but I own 17 1977 Star Wars. I'd love to own 17 more, but I like to see other people get them too, because then it means, you're not just coveting it. You don't mind others seeing others get them as well, because it's a special mint.
Yeah, with
No,
that
Charlie.
with that Frozen pencil, is that in the Burn wallet or is that in VeVe's vault?
At one point, I thought it was in VeVe's vault, and it's been so long since I looked into that, but I haven't seen it. Appear or be available. So it'd be nice one day. Hope that somehow it hasn't been burned, and it's still available. So there's several sets that I'm just missing one. Either it's in VeVe's vault or the VeVe person no longer is active. So I've got several mints that are real special. That's like, I'm just one short of a full set. And so sets like for instance, you're looking right now at the screen, it shows the penny black and the penny red. They're both last mint first appearances of those two stamps. There's only one missing of those. There's another first appearance of the penny blue, and it's in a very special collector's wallet. And I hope someday that they'll say, Charlie, I know you're just missing this for your set. I really like it, but I'd like to see you get it. And that hasn't happened yet. They're aware of it. But things like that you do for others the way you want them to do for you. But if it comes back to your way, great. If it doesn't, you know what? No harm, no foul. Everyone has their own right to keep what they want. And not everybody is as passionate about seeing sets come together. But it's something that means a lot to me. So if I have to give up a mint for someone else to finish a set, I want to be unselfish and say, I'd rather do that and see the set together than to keep a piece that's keeping a set incomplete. incomplete. So that's me. Everyone is different, and we have a lot of people who have helped me finish sets. So I'm grateful for that, because it's it takes a family, and if everyone isn't do it together, then it becomes it's a little more turmoil. But when people just show, like you've been saying, the VeVe fam is amazing. It makes it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And
Now,
I,
I'm
I,
curious, Charlie, when you're hunting mints, are you doing it straight off of the marketplace? Do you go in a stacker and look for special mints? Like, how are you actually hunting mints, or is it just kind of divine intervention when someone reaches out to you and say, "Hey, I have this. Are you interested?"
That's a great question. When I was younger, just looking for secret rares, I would just go through the whole thing. They literally thought I was using a computer program, but I was just spending hours searching and searching and searching for minutes. and then if you find out about tools that they have to look at them, and now Stacker, you can just find things so fast and much quicker. But but what I do when you look at starting, there's going to be a drop, is take time to look at what's the first appearance, what's the publisher date, what's significant numbers about that drop. And once you've done your background checks and you take time to strategically have a game plan. And so if it's the 1, 2, 3, then you're waiting. So I'm not just buying nice mints. I'm looking for a set. So all the 1, 2, 3s, all the 7, 7s, all the 6, 6s. I try to complete a set before going crazy about buying every nice mint. And then there's times where I end up with, 1, 2, 3 sets of the same drop. But it's strategically looking for the author, looking for the publisher date, looking for the artist, the writer. What's significant about this drop, whether it's a comic or a collectible. When did it first appear? So when you come in with a game plan, you have a lot better chance of being successful than when you just randomly try to find something.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. And
Uh,
nobody does that. Nobody does that really any better than Draco when it comes to premium mint. If he wants a 1939 or a 1974 or, a special mint, we've seen him with things like Street Fighter or whatever it is. If he wants something, he's going after it, and there's multiple others that are like that, and they're usually successful because they're determined. They're going to get it.
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that, because some of those bounties are just unbelievable, right? You're like, man, but then you have people like Michael Bowman, who pulls the lever, so many times you spend about $8,000 to get what you want. And it's just like, you have to be passionate in order to do that, right?
Yeah.
So,
And
so go
and
ahead, Charlie.
Michael's one of those unique people, right? Like I'll pull a lever, 30 times, 70 times on a Star Wars thing. And then I look over at him, he's got like 200, it's like, oh my goodness. Like, so we need people like Mike. It makes us feel a little less crazy and fanatical. So, Mike pulled 200 times. I only pulled 50, Uh, so yeah, he's a unique individual and he's got a great collection. And we need people like Michael and others who, keep pulling that lever. It helps keep the doors open and VeVe financed, right?
Absolutely. And it's funny. So just FYI, Michael will be on next week
Oh,
on
great.
Thursday. So we'll have him joining us to chat about it and chat about some of those one-of-ones that he's collected. But, it's funny you said that because when you talk about pulling the lever so many times, I live in on Millie Spaces, right? And him and Rolex are probably the funniest two people when there's a crazy drop and they're
Yeah.
both just on there just pulling the lever And then O'Malley's like, man, I just put the lever like 30 times. I'm such a degen. And, you know, Rolly's doing the same thing. And it's just, you know, it's one of those things that's, you know, when you hear it, it's fun, right? It's the gamble, you know, it's like, you know, am I going to hit that mint that I want? But for me, I think the turning point for me is when I found out how I can utilize Stacker to find the mints that I want, right? Because it's that hunt that I enjoy, finding a mint, finding who owns it, negotiating with them, especially if they're a tough one. And to once you finally get it, like that 42 that I have, that one was tough as far as Iron Man, but that 1971 mint that I have for the partner statue for the opening year for Walt Disney World, like to me that's one of my top grails. But it's because I searched for it, and man, I negotiate. I was on Facebook, I'm on Discord, you know, I'm everywhere asking, you know, for it. So, you know, it's the hunt of it. I think that, you know, some people when you're in it, right? There's certain things that I buy just because I love, like Leonardo. I bought it because I love it. I don't have a special mint for it. I just love the character and I love how it looks, right? But there's certain pieces that I'm like, I have to have this certain mint from this certain collectible or comic because it just has that meaning behind it for me, and it tells that story that I want it to, right? So, and Callie, I know you're the same way.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's important within our ecosystem that you do have different approaches. Like you said, you'll have people out there that will go and mass mint. You'll have special mint collectors. You'll have people that will just target level 100, and then you'll have the flippers. You know, and for good or bad, you know, I think all of these people are important in some guys. I think if we were all doing exactly the same thing, it just wouldn't be as fun. But yeah, the mint hunt side of it, like for me, getting into special mint collecting, you know, it's been a resurgence. It's probably what's kept me in the space to be able to get into that dynamic and going on the attack and trying to build these sets and doing it sometimes incognito. It's fun. It's enjoyable.
Yes, yes. So
Well,
Charlie, we're gonna have a
yeah,
little bit of fun. Are you ready?
let's do it.
All right, we're going to do rapid fire questions for you. I'm going to ask you a question, no overthinking it. You just give me your answer. You ready? We're going to have about 12 of them.
Okay.
All right. First question. Favorite VeVe collectible you own?
Favorite VeVe collectible I own?
Yep.
Ultra rare 123.
One
252.
mint, one mint you'll never sell no matter the price.
Oh boy.
I know it's tough for you.
252 edition 252.
Okay. What grill you still hunting?
252 secret rare.
Okay. Buy on drop or in the aftermarket?
I do both, but you know, I just believe that once you put your mind to something, it'll eventually come to you, right? You just have to put it out there in the universe and it'll come.
Okay. Most underrated collectible that you think?
Boy, there's so many. I think I'll say Todd.
What's your favorite artist?
Man, my favorite artist, I would have to say Ditko.
One IP you're most bullish on long term?
Star Wars.
I'll second that.
One rule every special mint collector should follow?
Only collect what you love.
Okay. And if there was one word to describe your collecting style, what would it be?
Passion strategist.
Okay. I like it. I like it. I like it. I know there was a lot at you there, Charlie, but I just figured it would be fun to kind of, you know, kind of pick your brain on some of those things and kind of get your first reaction to them. So,
But
you know, so.
And I have to second it. I think your question. I know a lot of people probably answer it in terms of like the IP that is probably the most exciting long term. I think the Star Wars. I just think when those Star Wars fanatics like some of us in this space come here and realize this exists, I think there'll be some very jealous collectors when they realize some of these things are that locked up. You know.
Yeah. And you know, I want to get that's a great. I agree with that. I want to get a shout out to Mr. Champ. Mr. Champ was one of the people that inspired me to start collecting sub 100s. And you know, even though I might have been in the top 10, 15 at the time, and some of them maybe top 5, when he inspired me, I started focusing on sub 100s, Disney, Golden Moments, and Star Wars. And I ended up strategically then becoming the #1 sub 100 Star Wars collector ahead of Dr. Prophet and everyone, and second to Dr. Prophet, Dr. Collect in Disney sub 100s and Golden Moments. So when you're strategically planning something, and you'll notice now all those mints, sub 100s have increased in value. Once you kind of start going after the market when it's at a low, that's the time to get it. Right now, things are at a low. People are either going to look at it strategically, or they're going to be the FUDs saying, VeVe's fallen. Oh, poor me. Either take advantage of the time, or when it's low, or look at it as a positive thing, or, you know, cry and pity, have a pity party. I prefer to just see it as an opportunity to collect these digital artifacts when things are at a low.
How much, out of interest, how much are you driven by? So again, Stack R, for example, with their leaderboards, is that something that is quite a driving factor for you in terms of having that fun of competing and having that data accessible?
Can you repeat the question?
So the leaderboards that they advertise on Stack R, so where it shows the like the sub, I want to say sub 100 Disney, you know,
Okay.
it might just be overall collection. Like how much does that incentivize your collecting style?
Well, it's a separation, right? When you set yourself up as in the top 10 of a category, then you're separating yourself and you're very focused, right? So it brings that authority and recognition. And so it's not just speculation, right? You're stewarding them. So I didn't start out being the top golden moments. I'm, you know, to #2, right? I was like number 14, 13 when I started, and then I moved up to #2. And so now, so it does give a criteria for focus. And so it's the categories, I think, they're awesome, right? And I don't plan on having the most mints, but I want to have strategically the sub 100s was one of my main focuses. And then you focus on something, you go after it, right? And then the things along the side, the 123s, the 1, 2, 3, 4s, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s, it's like extra bonus, you know, extra bonuses, right? It's just extra things that you love collecting. 100s, 111s, 1111, you know, they just become extra bonus mints that are special.
Yeah. And I think for me, I think it's one of the big things with the data that's available now, but I'm pretty confident it's going to be something, especially when the collect chain opens up, is that data and the breakdown of that will become more prominent, and people will be able to see leaderboards. I'm talking here pure speculation, but being able to see leaderboards of certain mint numbers, certain categories, and I think that will be a real big driving factor. You know, I can't remember the chap's name, but the guy that used to put out on X the weekly top 500 wallets and show the movements within each one. You know, there was a reason Bezos Man and Dr. Fuse were going absolutely crackers and buying thousands of mints each week, because they were just buying, and same with Rolex and everyone else. They, you know, they had that data in front of them and they were chasing one another. You know, both Bezos Man, I don't think's bought an NFT for a while, but he knows he's got the buffer on Dr. Fuse. Dr. Fuse goes and buys 2,000. Bezos Man will go and buy another 2,000.
Right?
But I think that data will be coming into play and be much more prominent in due course.
Yep. It's great. It's great to celebrate other people, right? And so many people that are just phenomenal in this space, from the organizers to the collectors. Amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now speaking of collect chain, what are your thoughts on it, Charlie? Are you excited that it's coming? What are your thoughts around it? How do you feel about it?
Oh, for sure. You know, I look forward to interoperability. I look forward to being able to do transfers. I look forward to being able to take ownership and seeing it being able to be ported and within the licensing and all the regulatory IPs, that everyone wins. But when that happens, there's going to be I believe, a rush into these, and people that have already established themselves in these categories that we're talking about. There's only so many, right? There's only 100 sub 100s. So it's not like there's 5,000 of them. So it's gonna make a big difference moving forward.
Absolutely. And we do have a question from VeVe Gold. Do you collect birth year mints? And I know that you do, for sure.
Yeah, I've been able to collect Wolverine, Hugh, it's like 1968, and I pretty much have every Wolverine 1968 or 68 edition out there. I love that. I've got the Luke 1952, his birth year, and of course Stan Lee 1922, his birth year. I don't know, dozens of those. Um, so so I think those are very special. From multiple birth years, that are special. I've got the Superman um, birth year of Reeves, when he was born. So again, is my favorite Superman character. So when you collect them, it's like, yeah, it's just one of those things that I think they're it's another special, precious premium mint.
Man, Charlie, I know that VV Verse has, been a little slow, and shout out to Master Roni for building my space. Thanks, Roni, and being on last time. I look forward to when it takes off, because I want to walk through your vault with everything that you have. It is just like, as you're just, shooting off these numbers of the mints that you have and the collection that you have, it's mind blowing to consider what all you have currently. Have you gotten any of your family into it as far as collecting on VeVe yet?
Well, they all are, they're supporting and they're connecting. They're not online. My daughters invest. They, whether it's gold, silver, or stocks, and they've done really well in that. This is more of a hobby dad's thing, and so they're supportive and they're encouraging me in it. But none of them have started collecting at this point yet. But they're going to inherit everything, so it'll all be good.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I can't be alone here. Like, I must bore my wife to tears daily talking about VeVe and the collection. Like, surely you
Right.
do the same. Is that a common theme in households?
Well, I withdrew from a group over the Christmas, because I wanted to make sure I spent more time with my family, family first, God first, family second. And so there are times where I've got to pull back the reins and say, I need to be able to, when I'm with my family, make sure that they don't feel second fiddle to a hobby that I have, that I take quality time with them. So that's something I'm working with. So whether I'm with my family or in church, I go, okay, this is not the time for me to be buying and selling mints, even though it's been a temptation. I try to prioritize now, getting a little better at it. My quality time with family and friends, and where they're not just thinking that I'm obsessed with VeVe. And so, so it is one of those things that you recognize that has to be worked on, right? Because it can become a challenge for people around us if they don't feel in the moment that they are giving them quality time. So that's something I continue to work on.
Yeah, yeah, I think we do. And I have to say as well, I'm sure this will come up, and I've probably said it multiple times before, but I think there's people in this space that I think just deserve incredible credit. And it's not necessarily the collectors or the special mint hunters, but you take people like Master Roney, who he just said there, I think a comment, apparently Dr. Fidget's got the best VeVe space, and telling you, I think that is possibly the best. So you've got people like Roney who's really just making a play for it in the VeVe, Casey BMW with his calendars like that. He's doing that for free. He's not doing that out of any paid kick there to do that. And O'Milly, doing his, I think he's doing his 20,000 road show at the moment, isn't he? Like that is, unbelievably hustling, but he's doing it, for the passion first. And I think having that balance, being able to, it's fun here doing collecting, but then also having the family side, like I said, if you're a biblical man, having your faith, I think it's just trying to find that nice, healthy balance.
Well, with interoperability and moving into Web3, VeVeverse is on a Web2 platform. So it's very limited, very slow. We're connected with some of the world leading Web3 programmers and inventors and godfather of Web3. So I'm looking forward to the time when David, I know already that Stacker is moving in that direction. So once we have Web3, you can have more people on it. It'll be faster. The servers won't be so slow. And what you can do on a Web3 platform, eventually Web4, I mean, it'll change the whole mindset of some of the challenges we're presently having on limited amount of people that could be on it, how slow it is. So going to Web3, where you can actually list your thing on Web3 and sell it and be able to transfer it and being able to show off. You guys, what's been done with Web 2 is unbelievable, right? With the limitations that it's had. But eventually, with interoperability, a Web 3 platform, it's going to shift things where people are going to say, oh my goodness, that's incredible. I'm buying a mint just so I could do that. So AR is great, but it's going to go to another level, and we're going to be blown away with AI and Web3. It's going to be really powerful.
Now, one thing that I will say, Charlie, I'm just giving you a heads up that when we do move in that direction and we have token gating and we're able to, use our things in other games and that I will need to rent your the 350. I need the green one. Okay. I need to drive that around a little bit. So I'm gonna need to rent that one. Just telling you right now. So
well, I've got three. So I've got three. So you can rent which one you want.
Yeah. Well, I think I remember when NFT Pirates made a bit. I think he did one of his streams on it, talking about the renting side, and I think there was a few comments on there, a few detractors, but I think the renting side. The more I think of it, especially on the gaming front, has got so much potential for the future. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
And you know what is, you guys talk about the community and that, and one of the things is like right now with the market that we're in, man, we have so many spaces that people show up for, right? And people have really stuck with VeVe through these tough and turbulent times, missed deadlines and that. But one thing that I will say is man, the team, you can't help but to believe in the team because they put so much hard work into this project, into VeVe, into the community, and they're constantly building. It's like they have not stopped, not one bit in regards to building out what's best for the community. So shout out to Dan and David for that, Dr. Collect for Stacker, and Collect Chain, because I'm so excited for the future because in 2 to 3 years, man, who knows what this space looks like? What are you guys' thoughts? Callie, Charlie, what do you think? 2 to 3 years, what do you see the space looking like?
Callie, you go first.
Do you know what? I'm probably one of the individuals, and I might be in the minority where I want it to be 5 years. I would want 5 more years of building. Like I want time on my side to enjoy this space. You know, I know it's dangerous because we've maybe got a smaller user base at the moment, but I want that. But I think 5 years, if the narrative drops, whether that be some of the IPs start talking and advertising it, which there's probably some logistics there for that to happen, or just NFTs in general to just get this next transition. But I'm planning 5 years personally, and I think in that time there's a lot of tech advancements that will happen, metaverse, VeVeverse, you know, more IP to come on. I think it could be an incredible landscape at that point. If it's sooner, great, but 5 years is my pitch.
What about you, Charlie?
You know, I think when you look at Grail level digital artifacts as special, they're curated for long-term stewardship. You're not just looking for a quick buck, but you're looking at long-term focus. And I've had it said to me thousands of times. People said, "Man, you may have paid $100 more for that than you should have, but long-term thinking, you sealed it, you collected it, and now 5 years down the road, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, it's going to be a museum artifact, and people are going to say, I can't believe you. How did you know to collect these, right? So if you focus on just the money, focus on them being NFTs, then it becomes confusing sometimes for people. There's so much FUD and people, cursing the darkness, but I prefer to look at the gold and not the dirt. And so I see it. What we've done is we've secured historical memorial pieces that are digital artifacts that there's only one. There's only one 1977 Vader. There's only one 1977, whatever, right? So it becomes something that they're not going to be able to do another one, right? This is the first appearance of this. So that is secured, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds.
Mm.
Excellent, excellent.
And you're right with the first appearance tag as well. I think there's like, of course, it's great when they bring out another line, and there's still going to have importance there, but that first appearance matters, in my opinion, just so significantly.
And people do get old. They wonder how many more stormtroopers, variants are we going to have? I still like collecting the numbers, but it's not as nice as the first appearance. They've done some great jobs with some of these variants. I still like them, but like the samurais and whatnot. But it's kind of like, okay, guys, did we really need another samurai? With 1977, is the last mint, when you've already have one. It's similar. Like, what's the big deal here? So I think people are get a little, okay, let's get first appearances. So VeVe, if you're listening, we like to see more Star Wars first appearances. There's a lot of Star Wars characters, not just a repeat, a remix of a stormtrooper. I think if there's one more stormtrooper gets released, people are going to be like, "Oh my goodness!" Then there's your pure, like, clever jerk. He's a pure collector. He's not going to buy. He's not into variants. He wants first appearances, and that's what he goes after. So for myself, it's not as big a deal. I still like a lot of these variants, but first appearances are really special. The Grogu, that was awesome, right? It did well, and so yeah, first appearance, more Star Wars first appearances.
Yeah.
So
All I'm
speaking of
saying
that,
oh, sorry, I was
go
saying
ahead, Kelly.
this Boba Fett drop at the weekend. I love the drop mechanic, the way you've got the ability to craft off the back of it. I think that's always a smart play, but I'm incredibly bullish on that. I think the quality of the piece, the fact that you can then
Yeah,
craft and get like the jetpack and shoot and his pistol, I think that's a big thing.
excellent. And now, quick question, Charlie, what collectible would you like to see drop that we don't have on there currently?
You know, there are other cars that we don't have right now. Um, you know, but that's a great question. I'll have to give it some thought. I know a lot of them have been already put out there, so I have to I'll have to give it some thought. Sorry, I don't have an answer for you right now.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll answer on your
How
behalf
about
because I
you
was
guys?
thinking about this the other night. For me, I want to see I want to see Arnie in all different variants. I want to see Terminator. I want to see Dutch from Predator. I want to see Running Man. I want the whole 9 yards of Arnie. Um, I think that would be. I think that the whole movie element, like I love the artwork that they drop, like the movie posters and whatnot. I want to see that come in full steam. Um, what about yourself, Dr. Fidget? Or have you got something you're waiting on?
Oh, let's see. So car wise, I need Ferrari. That's easy for me. Now I'm a huge Naruto fan. I'm telling you right now, if they drop Naruto on here, my bank account's probably gonna be empty. Because I'm probably gonna go mad and collecting that. I love Dragon Ball Z, but Naruto is definitely one of those things that I have watched over the years, and it just has that sentimental value that I'm probably willing to pay above what I normally pay for things. So for
Yeah,
me, that's probably it.
yeah.
And
And we
shout
are
out to
spoiled.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and we are spoiled as collectors. I know we all probably demand certain things, but it was only back in November. We hadn't had Turtles at that point. We hadn't had Street Fighter. I think at that point, incredible IP. So it's exciting what David Yu, who is definitely the maestro of bringing in new IP, what he's got coming. I don't even want to listen to the speculation because I want to have the Christmas morning impact when I go on X and see they're launching bang this next new thing.
Yeah, you just never know. He's got so many things in the back pocket. You just never know with David Yu. Just
Yeah,
just
and I'll tell
considering
you
what we
what.
all
I'll
have.
tell you
Like,
one thing I do want actually. I want that shirt, Charlie. That shirt that's a special occasion shirt. I have to say that is. I am jealous over here.
Yeah, my Boba Fett shirt, Star Wars.
Superb.
it's crazy. So one thing, oh, I do have another one, Transformers. So I dropped a post on my Facebook page about Transformers, and man, that probably got more results than anything else that I dropped on there. So there was a lot of people interested in Transformers. So I think that would be a big one as well. Yeah, especially
Yeah.
with the quality they're doing right now. I mean, that would be, if they drop that right now, the type of quality they're putting out, it would be absolutely stunning.
Yeah, and look, and again, and this might be speculation here, but I want VeVe to hold back some of these key pieces. Captain America 1 comic, for example, like as much as it would be great if it would come on there now and we could all dine out on it, they need to hold some things back for when the masses do come, if they do come. And it might. I don't think we've seen many Disney drops of late. There might be a reason for that. Maybe they're holding back a lot of these big Disney items for that time. Maybe. Um, Disney have got a new CEO who's incredibly digital tech focused, so you never know what might be coming.
Yeah.
Fair,
Well,
fair
Rolls
enough.
Royce would be a nice car. I know the Ferrari was one I thought about early, but Rolls Royce, can you imagine getting in a Rolls Royce and being able to drive around that? Would be kind of nice. I've been in them before. They're pretty spectacular. So that'd be a nice one. And to have the Royals. I don't know if there's any plans on that, but yeah.
Yeah,
Elephant
yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
room, or I'd say some big elephant in the room. Pokemon.
Yeah, I was thinking
For sure.
Pokemon would be. I know people are talking about that. That'd be another big one.
It'd be insanity if that dropped. That just literally insanity. Then it's game over. Everyone's in.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I'm excited to hopefully we can get that big announcement this month. I'm interested to what it is and and that, but I just feel like there's so much going on right now with Collect Chain and the quality of things that are coming out. And I really think for me in the next 2 to 3 years, one of the things that I'm excited about is how many of the actual fam are creating businesses around VeVe, DGC comment or DGC grading, right? Everyone is doing like these special projects that are kind of spin-offs of what they can do to add value to VeVe. So I'm really interested to see what comes in the next 2 to 3 years. And so shout out to the community for everything they're doing. Daniel, you, Chris, Scotchy, Dr. Collect. I mean, there's just so many people that are putting blood, sweat, and tears into projects that really complement what is already here. And man, I tell you, when the space takes off, those that have stuck in and dug in and built around are going to be the ones that receive that payoff. So I'm just excited for the space. I love it. I love the people in the space, the people that we talk to all the time, but then also the people that we don't, right? Because for a long time I just sat in the background and collected. I'm not a person that likes to get up in spaces. I'm not a person that likes to stream, as we talked about, Daniel. So this is new for me, right? But it's so much fun being able to talk to fellow collectors like you, Charlie, and talk about your journey and just talk about how special the relationships that we've made over these years mean to us. And I think that as people start to understand collecting, they'll understand it's not just about the collectible, it's about the connection that you make with people that are like-minded like yourself. So speaking of that, I'll go ahead, Charlie.
Oh, just one thing comes to mind. You talk about Star Wars collectible, that first appearance. We've got Yoda Saber, we got Yoda comic, we got Yoda in Christmas and, different things. But Yoda, I don't believe we have just a Yoda collectible um, that I recall off the top of my head. We got Grogu, um, but Yoda would be a nice first appearance.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. And granted, I want to say Yoda is on Crypt Toys, but when it comes to VeVe and VeVe put their first appearance on, that to me is the premiere. Han Solo, will we see him this May? Again, Chewbacca, the list goes on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially with the lightsabers, that's going to be interesting, especially if they can use them where you craft them together to create, to make a secret rare or something. It's just so much they can do with it, and it's just exciting. It's exciting for what's coming.
Yeah.
So with that said, gentlemen, we'll wrap up. But before we go, let's wrap up with, tell them how they can reach you, but then also just some ending thoughts that you would like to kind of relate to the community. And by the way, everyone, please make sure to like and subscribe to everyone's page. We appreciate you being here. Drop in the chat that Charlie's awesome, his collection's awesome, and how much we appreciate him, and Callie as well. But Charlie, I will give the floor to you, sir.
Well, thank you there, Dr. Fidgetal. Appreciate what you're doing in the space. I'm grateful for the VeVe community. I'm grateful for Dan and David and all the, Mr. MC1 and all the people that have just really come behind it. You know, Magic, just all the people who are Disney Magic and just different ones who just really helped boost this community, from Rudy and Tina and just all the real supporters. And so I'm having fun still. It's great community, and it's great to work with California Comics on seeing him just continue passion moving forward, and all the other collectors. And so VeVe's not dead. It's still going forward, and I'm grateful to be part of this community. You can reach me at Charlie NFT 123 on X or on Telegram, and I'm always open for offers on my mints. And it's great to be part of this journey. Back to you,
sir. Thank you. All right, Callie, it's yours.
Yeah, I know my intro to Charlie about being my favorite special mint collector, but yeah, look, I can publicly say I owe a lot to Charlie in terms of helping me build my collection, because there's things that I've got in there which I've got in immense pride and look to have for the long term, and a lot of them things have come from Charlie, and he's been very gracious to release some of these items very reluctantly. So again, it's just a personal thank you on there. But yeah, for me, the whole sentiment, I don't really hear the sentiment too much more about VeVe's dead. I think the fathers are long gone, and so be that. But yeah, I'm just excited about this whole space and just love what people are doing and the commitment and the passion. I think long let that continue.
Excellent, excellent. And also shout out your company in your spaces. Daniel. Daniel, you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I didn't hear that last bit. Did you ask, was that a question?
Yes, I was saying make sure to shout out your socials, but then also the great company that you have that Charlie and I love so much.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, long as yeah, it's fun. You know what it's like having family, kids, work, and then trying to build in digital, but it's all good. Um, yeah, and I know you're too modest to say this, but anyone who's here or watching, please subscribe to Dr. Fidgetal's channel, because I know we've said privately about, you know, it's good. I'm here to be a bit of a side man, like wingman, but honestly, your style is A class. So keep it up, mate. It's really good.
Absolutely.
No, no. No, and I appreciate both of you for coming on. Daniel, I appreciate you partnering with me on this, not aside. You are partnering with me on this, and we are super excited to continue to, not only interview great, collectors in the space, but fan members, whether it be physical or digital or artists. So next week, actually on Sunday, we have Bill Gardner on. The new minority owner in VeVe. So super excited for that space, 5 o'clock EST on Sunday. And then on Thursday, we will have Michael Bowman on with Greg White, the artist and comic owner of Beyond Comics, to talk about his one-of-ones in his space. So shout out to that. So very excited. And then we'll have later on this month, we have Slider coming on. We got VeVe Magic coming on. So it's going to be a good time. So tune in, Thursdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 5 p.m. on EST. But we want to thank you guys for being here, just listening to us, sharing in our journeys. I ask that you just connect with everyone. And, the major thing for us is collect what you love, but then also make sure to connect with the people in the community, because, we are stronger as a family. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. See you guys in a few days, and thanks for tuning in.